Hey, I'm back. Just wanted to do another video, another news one. Sorry, guys. Just a lot going on. Want to talk about this one. Justin Trudeau did a night service to commemorate all the efforts and work that he's done with the Native peoples and tribes of Canada. And then the next day, for Truth and Reconciliation Day, he does some quick meetings in the morning, jumps on a plane, and it goes west, goes past places that he was invited to talk with survivors in British Columbia. A couple places that invited him, or one place invited him twice. But he flies right on past that. He goes right to Fino. He's confronted on the beach while there, and ignores them and quickens his pace. I don't begrudge anyone going on vacation. Everyone's entitled to it. And you shouldn't be hassled while on it. I'll say that. But why couldn't you go the day after? It's not petty to say that. Would you do this on Remembrance Day? Just a thought. The election that we just went through, that he said that Canada desperately needed, so he can understand what the Canadian people want and need, and that the election proved that there needed to be one. A minority government needed to be reaffirmed that they are in fact can only gather a minority government. That's what he needed to know. He wanted a majority government. Since he hasn't gotten his majority government, and that this is his last term, we're not getting Mr. Nice Guy anymore. He is just wrapping things up that he wants to wrap up. And he doesn't need the NDP to wrap anything up. He can use the Bloc Party or the NDP. Or he can work directly with the Conservatives. And if those two work together, well, they'll get anything done. So whose needs and whose interests are going to be served in this last 4 years, if it's going to be 4 years? These are things that are on my mind when I think about him going to Fino, what it says. Then I heard that his response was that he was upset that people were judging him, the media was judging him and putting him in a light of they are judging me by my actions but not by my words. I think he got that backwards. No, I'm sure. When you say something like that, you need to unpack further if you're going to make any point. Because the expression is the opposite. Or the expression is, listen to what they say, but watch what they do. Listen to their words, don't judge their words, but judge their actions. There's so many ways to interact with people in the sense of finding out who they are. There's all these expressions. But, I gotta rest on the actions speak louder than words. It's pretty simple to me. I would need more information to change my position, and I would not refute it or resist it. I like knowledge. I like more information. I like the story getting more complicated. I do like walking away from a topic and not having a simple answer. When I walk away, my answer is very complicated and almost convoluted. I enjoy this because it means that I feel like I understand it on a very intimate level. It's only very particular circumstances that you can look at something and have a very clear, definitive judgment. Yes or no. No matter how many details that are brought in. But until I'm shown otherwise, it's actions speak louder than words. He's on the tail end of his administration, and he's not here to please anyone anymore. He's not trying to win any more popularity contests. He's not beholden to anyone now. Yeah, so not going to visit survivors that wanted to talk to him about it. I don't want to hear him be on television crying about, apologies and whatnot. You're going to skip out on the truth, the actual truth, on a day that has it in its name. Actions speak louder than words. He skipped out on the invitation. So, this is a guy that is more interested in the popularity contest. His dad was famous. His mom's famous. He got famous running for prime minister. Made famous more for winning. And winning again and again. This guy's more interested in his own name, in his own product than he is anything else by his actions. Now, some people are gonna tell me what he's got done. Okay. Sure, everyone gets something done, or else you don't have a job. We need more than just a piece of his resume. But if you come at me with everything that he's done, are you also going to tell me everything that he failed to do or hasn't even tried to do? Because that's also pertinent if you're going to be bringing up what he has. You also got to bring up what he hasn't, or what he's avoided or ignored. We're still voting the same way. So there's vandalism in Vancouver that I read about on yesterday. Swastikas and racial slurs. So if anyone that says Canada is not really a racist country, well, you're proven wrong. Some people think differently in this country. Some people are tired of being made to feel guilty for what was happened in the past. Anyone today that feels guilty for what was done when they weren't alive, or when their parents were young, or their grandparents, we're not wanting everyone from coast to coast of Canada to hang their head in shame, feel guilty and bad, and like it's your fault, or it's your parents' fault, or your grandparents' fault. We just want acknowledgement. Yeah, that was bad. That's horrible. Let's work together to reduce and eliminate this type of behavior. That's all we want. That's all we want. We don't want to drag you through the muck and make you hate yourself. It's not what we're asking for. If you're doing that, stop doing that. Don't do that. It's just that things got ugly, and we were lied to and had it kept from us, and we just want to know the truth. So this whole I'm tired with white guilt, well, that's insensitive. That's very insensitive. That doesn't work when you use it to any other catastrophe involving two different people. You wouldn't say that. You'd be called racist, you'd be called anti-Semitic if you used World War II as an example. It'd be like Germany be telling everyone, knock it off. We're tired of hearing the Nazi thing. And it'd be like their head person of their country stepping up onto the world stage and telling everyone, I don't want to see any more Nazi stuff anymore. What's the news going to be the next 5 seconds? White guilt is not what we're trying to create. I will not want anyone to feel that way. I do not want that. I do not want that. But to be done with it, it's insensitive. Especially that you haven't lived through it yourself. Someone that got shot 5 times and wants to talk about it. Nah, you know what? I've watched enough movies of people getting shot. I don't want to hear about it. I feel guilty enough as it is. It's insensitive. I'm not saying everyone's saying that. I'm just saying that it's out there, and I'm just responding to it, so people have more context of why there needs to be a discussion. Why you keep hearing there needs to be a discussion. It's because there's a lot of things being said around the fire, and some are good. I'm glad. There's a lot of things I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear a lot of things that are being brought to the light. And there's some things that are being brought to the light that I don't. And that's what this is. I'm responding to a minority, a small count of people in this country. So if you're not doing it, I'm not talking about you. It's just, it's out there. And that's all that I'm getting at. I gotta go back to that. Judge me by my words, not my actions. Would you trust someone that would say that? It just shows how shielded and insulated someone can be when they say something like that, especially over the context of this issue. But he seems to be like Teflon, just slides right off him. Like that vandalism says something about our country that we can't just ignore. But I don't want it to be turned into a Mount Everest either. I'm not going to be, propagating propaganda that there needs to be a movement that goes through this country. No, it's not what I'm saying. I just feel with more exposure to information, and I feel more stories being brought forward, everyone's going to have their own judgment anyway. So don't force anything on anyone. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just throwing more on the table. I'm not forcing anyone to do anything. But I appreciate you listening. But these are just, it's a can of worms topic. It really is. It's just, I am fired up. You can tell I'm talking faster. The fact that he just ignored the media, walk faster than the RCMP, sweep the media away from talking to him while he's on the beach in Tofino. The insulation is perpetuating the problem. It's that whole ripping off a Band-Aid slowly. Every hair is getting tugged and it hurts. He's not going to learn if you do it slow. You got to do it quick. And he knows that it's not forever, that it's not permanent, that it's just something that needs to be said. And that's the other thing. Like, we're going to be able to talk to each other. And that means we got to do it with respect. I don't want to swear and yell and judge and name call. But I am judging. But I just want to use respectful words and share what the picture looks like, and that it has an effect on people. Like, when I saw someone scrubbing out spray paint, vandalizing on that day, that's a lot of different feelings, and it's a lot of different thoughts, and there's fears that I've got to go through and find which ones are valid fears and which ones aren't. That doesn't make me feel safe, but I'm not going to go hysterical and go run and hide. That doesn't make me feel safe. Not at all. So think on that. This Prime Minister supposed to be leading our nation, and attitude reflects leadership. The attitude of your nation is reflected upon your leadership. So you can take that context down to a business. Your business, its success and its attitude is reflective upon the way your owner and manager operate. It's a clear way to diagnose how healthy the company or the family or the social friend group, the school, the institution, whatever body of people you want to talk about. It's a quick, like oil check. So checking the oil, finding out how dark is it. Is it empty? These are quick ways to gauge on what's going on. So it makes me feel like there is at least two different Canadas that exist, at least two. And it's easy to say like four. And that's not good. Because that means it can just fracture apart. I don't want four different Canadas because of political views, religious views, and skin tone, being a deciding factor. Like, I got let go of a job, I'm not going to mention what place, but it was after I exposed that I had a status card. I saw the expression on the manager's face. He walked away while everyone wanted to look at it because they had never seen one before. And the next day, he comes out nervously, shakes my hand, and tells me he doesn't need me anymore. I was still within my 3 months probation. So there's no words. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't prove that it was over that card, that status card. I can't prove that. It could have been my performance. I'll entertain that. I'll entertain that I wasn't doing the job right, that there was someone lined up better. But I heard down the road that he hired his daughter's boyfriend that happened to be Native as well, so that muddies the water even further. But what I'm trying to paint a picture is that you never know what kind of experiencing you're having. And you don't know what part of Canada that you're in until it's too late. And the ink's dry and you're out on your butt on the road. So that's why I bring up that it's like 4 different Canadas in this country. And that's bad. That needs to change. And telling these stories and being open to these stories without anyone feeling guilty that we want you to feel like it's your fault. No more of that. That is not what's needed. That's not what's wanted. Stand beside me, shoulder to shoulder with me, and look at what's going on. And don't feel triggered by it where you got to get defensive and withdraw and put up the walls. Be vulnerable looking at it like I am. Because we are all human. Let's never forget that. Yes, we develop different languages. Yes, we swear an allegiance to a different flag. Have a different religion. These all happen because time went on and pockets of people survived and thrived in areas. And as we went through the climb of technology and developing our society, we started bumping into each other more and more until World War I and World War II. And here we are. You got to accept that we live in a world of winners and losers. Geronimo quit fighting the Mexican government and the American government. He quit. He couldn't keep up with it anymore. And they put him on a reserve for the 7th or 8th time, and then he just stayed there, and that's where he died. He aged out. There's winners and losers. It sucks. It just is. It's just the way history is. When you read it, there's a joke. Like if you want to read world history, that's about war. It's a book that thick, and you want to read history about anything not war. It's that War makes a huge part of our history. And when you have war, there's winners and losers. It's just the way of it. It's just the way of it. So all I'm asking is don't take anything personal, but just be vulnerable and honest to the information that you're seeing. No one, truck driving is responsible for, today of what happened in the 70s and the 80s and the 60s and the 50s and the 40s and 30s and 20s. No one working today in a regular job, working, for a mom and pop company or a corporation is being blamed for this. We just want you to agree with us that it was horrible. Help us move forward. So I hear people saying that natives are a drain on Canadian society. Well, if you help us, we won't be. It's that whole adage of just doing that little extra work now so you can have relaxation and smooth sailings later. You help us climb up out of the hole we're in, and we'll be contributing to society. The evolution, the inevitable evolution of Canadian and First Nations and Métis and other tribes are that we're going to integrate even further. That's the inevitability. Native people that say, well, I'm Native, I'm not Canadian. No, you're two things. Canadian and your nation's tribe. There is a line on the that is drawn along the coast of this whole part of the continent, and everything on the inside is Canada. Legally, there's reserves. That has to change. We will end up all being Canadians eventually, but there will be a uniqueness that I will appreciate being an Amgis Nation member. But I see change coming. And it could be for the worse, it could be for the better, but I just do see change coming. So if you watch this and you lasted to this moment, thank you so much for watching. My heart goes out to everyone, and my appreciation for my viewers is unending. I can't believe I get views. Thank you very much. This was a heavy topic, I know, and I hope I haven't offended anyone. I was just sharing my experience and perspective of this story. So thank you for coming by.